Good.
Okay, let's get started. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, and thank you for joining today's webinar by Optahall, which is focused on managing daily changes in milk haulage. Today, we wanted to share with you some of the challenges our customers are having in managing milk haulage logistics, and also to share some ideas and some ways that perhaps you and your teams can help to react better to these changes. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of Optahall, and with me today we have Peter Pekanovich. Peter, would you like to say hello and introduce yourself quickly?
Hi everyone, I'm Peter Pekanovich. I'm the product manager at Optahall.
Thank you very much. Okay, so for today's webinar, it's a relatively short agenda, so we're going to try our best to stick with time. I'm going to give you a quick overview of Optahall, who we are, what we do, and why we do it. I'm conscious that there are people on the call who we may not have spoken to before and don't know exactly what we do. We'll talk about the reasons why milk haulage plans change and what impact that has. And then the fun part for today is we're going to put some challenges to Peter, who's going to provide us with a demo, but a demo focused around real life scenarios and how you might use Optahall to manage these changes on a daily basis. So Optahall is a software provider. We provide a SaaS software platform which helps dairy processors, dairy cooperatives, and milk haulers to reduce costs, reduce mileage, and reduce emissions in farm-to-plant milk transport. We are very focused on the milk industry. We don't provide our software to any other industries, and there's a reason for that. We believe that milk logistics is very different to any other logistics use cases. So the characteristics related to milk around it being time critical and must get to the plant in time. And there is a huge amount of data across farms, plants, tankers, milk types. And when you multiply that across thousands of suppliers, the data which needs to be tracked is extremely significant. And much of that data is very unique to dairy. You just don't find that data or the types of data in other logistics use cases. And of course, plan changes mean that milk could be delivered to factory A in 1 week and factory B the next. So all of these unique characteristics make milk different, and it means that it must be approached differently than you would a general logistics use case or general haulage. And we feel that if it needs a unique approach, then it needs a unique software platform. And that's what we provide. Our software is a specific farm-to-plant milk transport optimization software. It takes in all of the data that we mentioned, and it produces the optimal plan that milk planners and schedulers can go and use and share with their drivers. Our early customers are experiencing significant savings in mileage and time spent on manual planning, and it is a relatively quick path to ROI, being quick to set up and easy to use for your milk planners. So to the topic of today, which is managing daily changes in milk haulage. Well, we know, and anybody that works in milk haulage and milk logistics will know, that the one thing you can be sure of is when you make a plan for next week or even for the coming days, that there will be changes to that plan. And those changes can happen on the farm, whether it's changes in volume or issues with on-farm bulk tanks. They can happen with the truck, whether it's weather or engine or truck related, or they can happen at the plant. And that could be, which is very common, changes in production or customer demand. It could also be unplanned downtime. So these changes can come from many different places, and they are all equally challenging for a planner who may need to try and rebalance or replan a large fleet of milk tankers at short notice. And what impact does that have? Well, these changes are costing millions to the industry, and very hard to put a figure and a percentage on it. But if you think about what your business would look like if these last minute changes didn't happen compared to what it looks like now, then I think you'll realize that the extra costs around fuel costs, labor costs, maybe storage costs if a load needs to be held over for the following day, maybe additional quality control measures need to be put in place if it's going to take longer to get to the plant. Depending on contractual agreements, there may be penalties or fines for late deliveries to plants. Your customer service would suffer, and of course the opportunity cost is if I need to use these 3 trucks to handle these last minute changes, well then what else could I have been using these trucks for? So there's a huge impact to any dairy business in many different areas from last minute changes. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce again Peter. Again, Peter is our product manager, and he's going to help us today by showing us the Optihaul product, and he's going to do that in the form of attempting as much as possible on a Zoom call to replicate some real life issues. So we're going to challenge Peter to use Optihaul to help us solve a few different challenges that dairy planners might see on a daily basis. So Peter, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to ask you to take over. And as I do, I will just point out that there are obviously some people who haven't seen the Optihaul product before. So before we go into actually going through these challenges that I'm going to put to you, maybe you could give a very brief overview of the plan that you've created and what that entails, and then we can go and make some changes to it.
Sure, thanks, Gary. So we are looking at the Optihaul system, and what you can see as you start off the system is basically a map, and on that map you can see your list of locations, whether that be your suppliers, your factories, and also your routes. So what we are looking at right now is a plan, what we call, currently it's a 2-day plan. The 2-day plan is catering to every day and every other day collections. A plan consists of a set of routes that are going into different factories and picking up milk from a number of suppliers. If I click on one of the routes, I can see the details of the routes, where it's starting from, where it's picking up the milk from, and where it's delivering it to. There is also a plan summary that we provide, which lists you just the main highlights, the KPIs of the plan for the different days, and also in total, the total distance, the cost, the unit cost, how much milk it's collecting, how many vehicles it's using, and how many routes there are on each day. So this is a 2-day plan, and this 2-day plan, this list of routes is basically the output of the Optihaul system. So now I will also look at what is the input of the system, and I can do that by going into the configuration page. Configuration page is basically where you can set up and store your basic data, the list of your factories, the list of which currently there are 3 factories. I can see the name of them, the address, the coordinates, how much milk they are accepting each day, when they are open. I have my list of suppliers. There are 92 of them. I can see where they are. I can see how much milk they are producing, their daily amount, and also what time they are open, when the milk can be picked up from them. And also on the next page, I can see the list of my vehicles. I have 30 vehicles right now, ranging from 24,000 to 36,000 liters in capacity. So this is the input of the Optihaul system. And then how I can get to 2-day plan is I can run an optimization using the optimization button. I can control many different settings in the application too. For example, the timing at the factories, the timing at the suppliers. And when I hit start, basically the system will generate me a set of optimal routes that will make sure that all of the milk is transported in the factories in as efficient manner and as optimal manner as possible.
Okay, thank
So
you,
I
Peter.
started the first challenge.
Yes, thank you for that. So let's start with a challenge at the farm. We have a particular farmer has some power issues in the area, which means he's going to be without power to the farm, which means his cooling tank is going to have a problem. So how would you address that?
All right. So basically, the supplier called me, told me that there will be a power outage, there won't be any cooling in the afternoon, so his milk needs to be picked up as early as possible. It was both farms, so I can just search for his name in the list of farms. So if I want to make sure that the milk is picked up as early as possible, I can modify his opening hours and modify the time window. Just how we do that, I can go into the edit page and see all of the details of that particular supplier. how much milk is producing and what type. And I can go into the open hours page and change the open hours from 8 p.m. to 10 a.m. That will make sure that whenever I'm creating a new plan, the system will pick up this supplier between 6:30 and 10 a.m. So if I can just hit start planning and then create a new plan based on this data, the system will make sure that the milk is collected as early as possible on the next day.
Very good. Thanks, Peter. And of course, you can have multiple time windows to accommodate 2 or 3 different windows, or as many different windows as you want, if you want to leave that open for collection. So thank you for that. So that's challenge 1 sorted in record time. So challenge 2 is we have an issue with a truck. So it's already done a trip, I believe, and now it has a problem going out for the next trip of the day because of a tire issue. So we have a collection trip which we need to find a solution for.
Yeah. So basically, the driver of medium 4 vehicle called me. He had a flat tire just as soon as he left the factory. So I can go into the edit routes page, and on the second day I can, because currently we're on the second day, I can have a look at trips of the vehicle medium 4. You can see he's currently doing 2 trips in one day. His first run is already completed, and he called me on the second run. Just as soon as he left the factory, he got a flat tire. So all of these 4 farms that were originally collected by his vehicle will need to be collected by a different vehicle. So in the system, I can delete this route, and then I can move all of the calls which became now available to be picked up or require picked up. I can pick them up by a different vehicle. So let's find a new vehicle. For example, medium 5 is also starting from the same factory. He's also doing 1 round of collections. I can add the new trip for this vehicle for medium 5. Let's say I've called the driver and told him that he will need to pull a bit of a bigger shift. I can insert a new trip. That one is going into factory C as well. I can call it relief. And then I can save this new trip. On the map, I can immediately see where these suppliers which haven't been picked up yet are. And I can just by clicking on them, add them to this newly created route. The system will calculate the distance as I'm adding them. And then I can save this new route and the whole plan as a new route plan. When I do that, the system will recalculate the timings and everything with this plan. So what's important to me is that I need to see the impact that this change had on my system and on my plan. So we have a comparison tool for that. In this comparison tool, I can select my original optimized plan, and then I can select the manually modified plan that I modified and I added the new route to. I can immediately see that it increased the total distance by more than 200 kilometers. It increased the total cost and also the unit cost of this plan by quite a significant amount. Unfortunately, this was a changed mechanical failure. I really had no better solution to solve this. This needed to happen immediately.
Very good. Thanks, Peter. So you very quickly removed that vehicle from the plan and found another vehicle that can pick up those producers and get them to the same factory. Okay, the last challenge is a little bit of a different view. So it's more from a plant production perspective, whereby nothing needs to change at the farm level or in assembling the loads, but the destination of the loads need to change because a particular plant needs to reduce the amount of milk and that it needs for that given day.
Yeah, so we already looked at changes coming from the vehicles and from the farm. So now we are going to look at the changes coming from factory. So first I will go into the calendar view, which is a setting at OptaHaul. Basically, the calendar allows you to assign a plan to a set of days in the calendar. Currently, you can see starting from the 19th of February all the way to the 23rd of February, I'm running by this optimized plan. It's alternating between day 1 and day 2. So currently I'm on the 20th, let's say I'm on the 20th, so I can see 4 days, starting from the 20th all the way to the 23rd. And one of the production managers at the plant called me and told me that the factory will be able to accept less milk than before. just to explain what we are looking at, so we are looking at 4 days, and then we are looking at all of the routes, the fully assembled loads that are that are currently happening on those days. So, for example, this route of the vehicle large 3 is going on to factory B on both days, on the 21st and on the 23rd of February. Let's say if I want to change this and redirect this full load into factory C, I can change that in the system, and I can immediately see the effect of that on the bottom panel. On the bottom panel, I can see my most important KPIs, my unit cost, the cost, and the total distance. I can see what effect my change had on this, let's call it base plan. So we are not doing this manually, obviously. I will leave that up to the system to find a solution for this. So what I can do is, the production manager at plant at factory called me and said that instead of the original 90,000 liters, they can only accept 40,000 liters. And I can send the rest to, let's say, factory B. I can leave it at any amount, and then I can hit start planning in the system. So what the system will do in the background as we are talking is basically it will look at these new factory requirements, it will look at these full loads, and then find a solution that will make sure that it redirects the loads that have the least impact on my overall mileage, my overall cost. It has already done that. So it has redirected 2 loads. I can see those 2 ones, which have the sort of blue outline. It redirected those into factory B. I can see that now factory A's requirements are met. There is only 40,000 or 42,000 going into that. Now there is more meal going into factory B. I can see that these 2 loads were redirected by the system, and these 2 loads have the least impact on my overall plan.
Excellent, excellent, very good, Peter. Thank you. So very quickly, without changing anything on the milk assembly side, we have been able to satisfy a change on the production plant side, which is very good. Okay, so that brings us towards the end of the webinar. So thank you, Peter, for taking us through those three scenarios. They are real life scenarios for our customers. Hopefully, they resonate with some of the people on the webinar. And of course, there are many other scenarios that can be helped with a routing and planning system that is built for that specific purpose. So we will invite you to get in contact with any questions, and we have some questions to answer that we don't have time for on the webinar, but we'll follow up via email. So look out for that over the next 1 to 2 days. But if there's anything else, please feel free to contact us on the email addresses there. Gary, my name is Gary Gallagher, and it's gary.gallagher@optohaul.com. And Peter Pekanovich is peter.pekanovich@optohaul.com. If there's way too many letters for you in both of those, then just go to optohaul.com, optahaul.com, and either choose contact or demo, and we can get in touch. With that, I'd like to thank everybody from joining from all the different parts of the world, and we appreciate your time. And please look out for future webinar series coming your way in the coming weeks. Let's close it there. Thank you, Peter. Thanks, everybody.